Okay, I'm here in the Jefferson Park area of Los Angeles, the West Adams district. The reason why I'm here is because we're gonna go to the house that the wonderful great actress from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, Hattie McDaniel, bought in 1941. This area was also known as the Sugar Hill District. A lot of these mansions were built during the teen era of the 20th century, obviously. And when Hattie McDaniel lived here, when she bought here in 1941, there were such celebrities as jazz musician Earl Grant, Pearl Bailey, Ethel Waters, Ray Charles, Louise Beavers, Bill Bojangles Robinson, Eddie Anderson, and many, many black entertainers and actors from that time period. We're gonna go to 2203 South Harvard Boulevard, and we're actually about couple of hundred feet from the 10 freeway. If you're at all interested in coming here, and this is the house that Hattie McDaniel bought with the money and the fame and fortune that she made playing Mammy in Gone with the Wind, 1939. This is also the house that when she became very, very famous after Gone with the Wind, she used to have yearly lavish Hollywood parties here, mostly for the black elite of Hollywood. And one of the few white actors that would come was Clark Gable, and he also used to come here every Sunday to the house we're coming up to. And this is 22nd Street. And we're gonna make a right here. We're going east, and the house, sadly, it's pretty dilapidated. It had 17 rooms, and it was Chinese themed inside. It had 4 bedrooms, butler's pantry, library, drawing room, large living room. And in this house, this is where right after Gone with the Wind of 1939, They Died with Their Boots On with Errol Flynn. Here it is, with Errol Flynn, Anthony Quinn, and Olivia de Havilland. And then she was in Since You Went Away, 1944, with Claudette Colbert and Joseph Cotton. I think he was in that, and Shirley Temple. And then she was in Margie with Gene Crane in 1946. Song of the South with Bobby Driscoll, the little kid actor, in 1946, a Walt Disney film. And then starting in 1947, she was in the Beulah Show. It first was on the radio until 1951, and then it went to TV, and then she died sadly at 57. And she died of breast cancer. And this big beautiful house, like I always say in these videos, if these walls could talk. And I think it's kind of ironic that there's actually an antebellum motif themed mansion coming up on the right. And what with her playing Mammy in Gone with the Wind, the antebellum era, and then here's a house around the corner. And let me get a shot of it over here. Get a load of that. I mean, what are the odds, right? Okay, well, like I said, she was the first black to sing on network radio in 1931, and she came out originally from Fort Collins, Colorado in 1931 because her brother was starring in a a radio show called The Optimistic Donuts, and she got a job on that show as an uppity maid, what they called an uppity maid that didn't know her place. And a lot of the actors called her Hi-Hat Hattie because when she would come in, she was always dressed to the nines, they said. High class Hattie. And here it is. Let me get out of a car right here. And like I said, it's 2203 South Harvard. and get a load of that beautiful house. And then there's that southern mansion, and then this old dilapidated house, this mansion as it were. And we're actually a couple of hundred feet from the famous AME church. And anytime the president comes or visiting politicians, they always come here to this church a couple of hundred feet from us, and I'm sure Hattie went there. And here it is, the Hollywood glamour, the finest actors of the 1930s and 40s and 50s used to come here and attend Hattie's parties. And like I said, this is the home that Clark Gable used to come all the way from Sherman Oaks or Encino to eat breakfast every Sunday morning, because Hattie was known to make wonderful southern down-home cooking. And if you're at all interested, I filmed where Hattie is buried, her final resting place at Rosedale, about a mile south of this area. And she wanted to actually be buried at Hollywood Memorial, but at that time, sadly, they didn't accept black persons. So later on, I guess the new owners, when they bought that cemetery in the 1990s, they said she could be buried there, but her family, Hattie's family, of course, didn't want to disturb her remains. And check that out. Kind of strange, huh? What with her making her fortune and her greatest fame and Gone with the Wind, and take a look at that antebellum mansion. What a beautiful house. And sadly, I've been coming here for years. It's obviously abandoned, and God only knows who owns it. Check out those Corinthian capitals. Okay, well, we'll never forget you, Hattie. Thank you for those wonderful films. And I was going to actually go to where she lived while filming Gone with the Wind, but when I went there on 31st Street, strangely, the addresses jumped from 2271 to 2277, and her house was 2273. And so I don't know what was going on with that. I was gonna do a little due diligence lecture on what happened there in that home, but apparently it's not there, or due to redistricting, I don't know which house it would have been. Okay, well, please subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching this video. And again, Hattie, we'll never forget you. And let's go over here again, and that's the 10 freeway. And at that time when she bought this house in 1941, there were racial covenants that blacks weren't allowed to live here, but the judge overturned all that in 1945, so they were able to keep their homes. Louise Beavers, Hattie, and a lot of the black actors who were moving in here at that time period. So let's go around here before I leave. And too bad everything's so dilapidated, but like I always say in these videos, if these walls could talk, I could imagine all the glitz and glamour and all the great fantastic Hollywood parties that took place here in the 40s and 50s. And here you go. There's the back part right here. Okay, well, thank you for watching this video, and Hattie, good night, sweet princess.